Hello everyone. Welcome to this live. Am I audible? Is my video and audio okay? Can someone confirm? Hello, Caitlin. Hi, welcome. I'm so happy to see you here. So, Caitlin says hi, Grand Rising from New York. Wonderful. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for making me, yeah, the part of your morning routine yet again. I'm so happy. And thank you for the confirmation that everything seems fine. Although I want to confirm from you, like, is there any background noise coming? Because, yeah, something is going in my kitchen, so I want to like know, is the background noise coming for you guys? Like, is it disturbing you a lot? I see someone new also. Okay, okay, Caitlin says not audible, really. No, thank you. Okay, so I see one new person here. So I would love to say hello to you. So where are you joining us from? Which part of the world you are from? And if you would like to be a silent observer, then that's okay as well. You can just maybe press the heart once or twice to let me know if you want to be a silent observer. And yeah, we would not bring the, focus light to you. That's perfectly okay as well. Because yeah, I understand some people like to be, just check the vibe for a while in the live. So yeah, that's also okay. Mm. It's odd today, very less people have joined in the live. I think this is the first time that so less people have joined today. Maybe, some other wonderful teachers live is going on right now. Um, okay, so let's begin with our meditation. Unless, there is someone who is here for the first time, then I would let you know, what do we do in these lives? So is anyone here who is joining us for the first time? Otherwise, we would just continue with the live. So is anyone joining us for the first time here? Okay, then let's, begin with the meditation. So are you guys ready for the meditation? Type ready or are in the comments if you are. And then we will begin a meditation before, going to the wheel, before tapping into the wisdom. Okay, Caitlin is ready. Thank you, Caitlin. So let's begin the meditation for today. So begin by coming into a comfortable position. You can either sit, stand, or lie down, whatever feels comfortable to you. Taking a moment to settle into this moment. And whenever you are ready to tune inward, you can either choose to close your eyes completely or you can lower your gaze by fixing your eyes downwards 2 or 3 feet in front of you. We are either lowering our gaze or closing our eyes to limit visual distraction. And as your attention is turned inward, now bringing your awareness to the surface beneath you. Feeling the support Mother Earth is providing you right now. And as you're feeling supported by the surface beneath you, bringing your awareness to your breath, noticing the air flowing in and out, feeling the refreshing oxygen entering your body, and as you exhale, letting go of any tension or any anger or stress that you no longer need. Continuing to breathe deeply and slowly. With the in breath, filling your lungs with fresh oxygen, and with the out breath, letting go of any tension in your body. Today's meditation is going to focus on change. So, if you are trying to make certain changes in your life, or you are trying to make changes within yourself, then this meditation is going to help you and guide you through that today. Change doesn't always feel easy. Whenever we try to change the old habits of ours, try to pull us back, but that doesn't mean that you are failing. It simply means that you are human. So, right now, allow yourself to acknowledge the efforts you are making to bring this change into your life. Even the desire to change is a sign of growth. You are already on the path. So bring to mind any habit that you are trying to change. So it can be again a habit, a quality of yours, or something else that you are currently trying to change in your life. Seeing it clearly without any fear or shame. It is simply a pattern, one that was created to serve you in some way at some time. But you are evolving and it no longer aligns with who you are becoming. So it's time to let go. So bringing this habit or quality or aspect of yourself that you want to change, something you want to change and replace it with something better, something new. So imagine holding this habit of yours in your hands, just like a small stone. As you see this habit or aspect of yourself that you want to change in the form of a stone held in your hands, begin to feel its weight. The weight it has on you. By seeing and feeling this tone or this aspect of yourself that you want to change in this manner, we are acknowledging its presence because sometimes we just want to hide away and suppress these parts of ourselves or these behaviors of ourselves that we don't like. So, taking a moment to acknowledge its presence within your hands, and as you become more and more aware of its presence, you feel the weight it has on you, how this is no longer serving you, but instead adding to the burden. And you don't need to carry this burden with you. So visualize yourself gently putting the stone down, placing the stone down from your hands, knowing that you are free to choose something different. As you are soaking in this freedom, as you are feeling more and more light after dropping this weight off, you look ahead. And as you look ahead of you, you notice a serene lake in front of you. The water in this lake is still and clear, like a mirror reflecting back an image. So you decide to move closer to this lake, and as you gaze into the lake, you see yourself not as who you are right now, but as the version of you that has already embraced the changes you seek. So you see your desired version in this lake. You see this version of yourself living with ease, embodying the habits and the choices that feels most aligned. You see yourself doing all those things that you wanted to do. The changes you wanted to make in your life are a part of this version's life. Seeing this version of you living the life that you want to live and being the person that you want to become, you feel a pull towards this vision. So you step closer to the water and you reach your hands out, trying to grasp it, to hold on to this best self. But as soon as your fingers touch the surface, the image ripples and fades away. You lose that vision. So confused, you look around, searching for that vision again. And as you search, your gaze rests on your heart. As you look down into your heart, you see a soft, glowing light is radiating from within you. And in that moment, you realize the reflection wasn't out there. It was never separate from you. It was a projection from within you, a truth that has always lived inside of you. This version of you is not a distant dream, it is already part of your being, a possibility waiting to be birthed, to become your reality. Taking a deep breath in, feeling this truth settle into your heart. You are not chasing something outside of yourself. You are simply uncovering what was already there. Every possibility is there, resting within your core, and all you need to do is take small actions to bring that version of you to the front, to give life to that version of you. And you don't have to do it all at once. That version of you will grow slowly despite the obstacles and the setbacks, just like a plant grows from the soil slowly and gradually. So, just trusting this process, taking a deep breath in, knowing that you are capable of change, and with the out breath, letting go of any doubts. Continuing to take two more deep breaths like this, breathing in trust in yourself and breathing out doubt. And now, whenever you are ready, you can begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers to connect back with your body. And whenever you are ready to come out of this meditation, you can gently open your eyes and connect back with the environment around you. Welcome back. You did great. So, if you feel called to, you can share about your experience of this meditation. And if you don't feel like typing, you can always press the heart to let me know that you resonated with the meditation or it was helpful for you. Thank you. And for all those who joined us during the meditation, firstly, welcome to this live. I'm happy to see you here. And I want to let you know that this isn't the end of the meditation. We just started with this meditation practice. And we are going to tap into some wisdom next. So I will drink some water before we move on to the next segment of this. Okay, let's read the comments. Amber is here. Hello, Amber. Salutations and welcome, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Yeah, I saw your comment, but I already like started with the meditation, so I didn't want to acknowledge it at that moment. But I appreciate you being here. Caitlin says, "Oh, I got the warm fuzzies. That was a nice meditation. Thanks, Anisha." Thank you so much, Caitlin, for sharing that beautiful experience of yours. I'm glad that you got the warm fuzzies. It's so nice to hear that. Ah, okay, so let's move on to the next segment now. Now what we're going to do is that we are going to spin the wheel, the fun part. We're going to spin the wheel and we're going to allow that book that, wants to convey a message to us. We're going to open ourselves now that we are settled in, that we are feeling, a bit cozy, a bit pleasant. Now we are going to open ourselves to receive the wisdom from the universe, God, higher self, divine consciousness, whatever you believe in. Caitlin says, I'm open to receiving today. Wonderful. It's so nice of you to affirm it in the comments. So, before we move on to that, I want to ask you, what is it that you need guidance on? So, is there anything specific that is going on in your life that you would like some guidance on? So, you don't need to share the details of it. You can just share the general theme of it, or like the area of your life in which you would like some clarity, direction, or wisdom in. Um, yeah, and just share that in the comments because it helps you in becoming, in gaining that clarity as to what is going on in your mind currently, what is occupying most of your energy, attention, and focus. And it is also a way to declare it to the universe, in the comments, and then let the magic unfold, let that guidance, that piece of wisdom come through for that specific thing. So, yeah, I will wait for a moment if anyone would like to share anything specific. And if there is nothing specific that you would like some guidance on, then you can always share in the comments that I'm open to receive some general wisdom for today or for this week. So yeah, just opening yourself like Caitlin has done here. And thank you for the hearts. I see you. And I'm grateful to you. So what we're going to do next, until then I will brief you if anyone new has joined us. So what we have is that we have a wheel. On that wheel, there are names of some randomly chosen books. So some books that were randomly chosen out of the many books that I've read in the past 8 years, in my own transformation journey. And what we do is that we basically spin the wheel and let the wheel choose, a book for us that um, has a message for us. So we have about 31 books on that wheel. And when a book is chosen, what I do is that I open my notes from that book. So as I was reading some of the books, some of the wonderful books that I've read, then I also noted down some of the most powerful insights or the transformational practices in that book. And yeah, I put it in one place. So what I do is that I open those notes, I close my eyes, I set an intention for all of us, and then With my eyes closed, tuned into my intuition, I scroll through the pages of that book until I feel like this is the section where I need to stop. This is something that all of us here present, need to hear, that contains something that people here need to hear. So, yeah, that's what we do. And then we discuss about it, or yeah, then, it naturally flows. So, I also don't know what happens after that. But this is the general format of it. So, yeah, I just want to let you know if you are joining us for the first time. Okay, so let's tap into the wisdom. Hmm. So, guys, this is the wheel, and we're going to spin it and see from which book today the wisdom wants to come through. Because the universe is always speaking to us. We just need to be open, we just need to be receptive. And this is the space for that, being open and holding space for whatever wants to come through and believing it and trusting it. So let's see what will come. Hmm. Amber said, nothing specific for me today, simply open to receive and explore together. Wonderful, Amber. Okay, so bringing more of that openness and receptive energy. So, the book that came up for us today is Self Compassion, a very big element, especially when we are going through a struggle. Um, because we usually jump onto problem solving and forget this part, this part of us that is suffering, and forget this important element of processing it, which is self compassion. A says, I'm looking for reassurance. Then I'm really hoping that, this book is going to contain that. This book is definitely going to have that, this is going to spread that loving feeling. And I hope that you leave this life feeling like you were held in love. A. Um, oh, Amber is asking, what day is today's recording gonna be? Okay, so guys, for those who are new, I want to let you know that all of this is getting recorded. So, we have done 35 sessions of this Wheel of Wisdom so far, and it started in this year in January. And today is the 36th session. So the number Amber is 36. So I have like numbered everything. And if you would like to access all the previous recordings, or if you joined late and you would like to drop back into the meditation that we did today, which was about, you know, if you're trying to change a certain aspect of yourself or bring some change into your life, then, we did a meditation on that today. So if you're interested in getting the recordings, or, getting those replays, then what I have done is that all those recordings are on my channel, and I have created a playlist of them. I have numbered each and every one of them so that you can actually tap into your own intuition. So when my live is not going on, and if you would like some guidance or tap into some wisdom, and you just be open, then what you can do is that, mm, okay, let me show you before we open the book itself. So the where you can find the replays is, you can go to my profile, and you can go to the about section of my profile. Here it is, about section, and when you will scroll down, you will see, yes, link tree there. So in that link tree, you will see Wheel of Wisdom replays. So there is a playlist. So what you can do is that, when you open that playlist, choose a number between 1 to 36. And whatever number comes through for you, just open that particular recording and, yeah, watch that video, knowing that today that particular piece of wisdom wanted to come through. This is what you needed to hear, and this came through, and your intuition guided you through that. So, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to include that fun element for you as well as you go through the recordings. Um, so there is another comments. Another comment. Amber says thanks. Okay, thanks. Wonderful. You're welcome, Amber. Um, the I'm having difficulty pronouncing your name. Um, but it is like Zarina. Is the C silent? Is it Zarina? Or is it something else? Can you like type the phonetics if I'm wrong? Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you, thank you. I didn't want to pronounce your name wrong. So Zarina says, Zarina needs some peace and clarity in relationship. I hope that that comes through from today's session, from this particular book, or if we choose to read some other book. Yeah, just I hope that some guidance on that comes through. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm wishing you some peace, sending some peaceful energy your way, Serena. And I hope that, that fog or, that that is in your mind in relation to that lifts and some light and some clarity enters through in relation to your relationship. Serena says, thank you. My pleasure. Sue says, um, is so relevant for me, really. My illness difficult at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, you're not feeling well physically, so and I'm sending away so much healing energy to you. And guys, if you want to, you can also send some healing energy to Sue. You can press the hearts and just, spread the love and yeah, and spread that positive energy. Send that her way. Just holding that pure intention for her. Thank you. Okay, so let's open this book and see what wants to come through today. So, this book, the name of the book is Self Compassion, and it is written by Kristin Neff. She is a pioneer in, self compassion in research, and she's the one that popularized it. She has so much, you know, work done in this field, and it's just amazing. So, if you are looking to learn more about it, you can definitely check out her work. Okay, let's open the book. So, what we are going to do now is let's tap into your intuition instead of mine today. By the way, this is the cover of that book. So, what I want you to do is, just a second. Okay, I want you guys to choose a number between 10 and 270. So 10 to 270. Just choose a number and share that in the comment, whatever number is coming through for you. Wonderful. Caitlin is going with 88. I love 8. It just reminds me of that infinity symbol. Wonderful. And whatever number you choose. Theo Ban says, I was thinking 8. Wonderful. So we have a lot of 8s today. Okay, Leslie goes with 108. Another auspicious number. Wonderful. Chris says 37. Beautiful. Okay, so, and if you don't feel like choosing a number, that's okay because whatever number a person chooses here and whatever we read on that page is not particular to that person. It is actually, you know, for all of us here who are present here. Deanne says 88. So, okay, so we have two 88s. Wonderful. Caitlin and Deanne is aligning today. So yeah, so just trusting that whatever serves every single one of the person who's listening is coming through all of you who have mentioned the numbers. Okay, so we have a lot of numbers, so let's dive in. Um, so let's, begin now. Hmm. And oh, okay. Sioban, you chose the number eight. You were thinking eight. Um, but actually, I think mentioned from nine. So we are going to have to skip that because nothing is on page number eight. It's just the title, Why Self-Compassion. Maybe we are going to discover that. Zarina says 23. Wonderful. Thank you for all the contributions here. And strengthening your intuitions. Okay, okay. Siobhan says I meant to add another eight, so eight like others. Okay, wonderful. So Kate, it's a lot of 88. I'm really excited now. What is on page number 88? I'm really excited. Three people are choosing that. Okay. So we are going to begin with, let's begin with 88. Hmm. Because I am excited to see what wants to come through from this page. Hmm. Okay, let's begin. Hmm. The author says, as long as we don't get lost in a storyline that justifies and reinforces them, um, them being the judging thoughts and emotions. Okay. Okay, so there is a preceding paragraph to it. I'm going to read that as well so we get the context of it. Hmm. When we judge ourselves for our mental experience, we are only making things worse. What a horrible person I am for having that thought. Or a nicer person would feel sympathy rather than annoyance in this situation. So, did you choose to have that particular thought or emotion? If not, then should you be judging yourself so we can release ourselves from the tangled knot of self judgment by accepting the fact of our experience in the here and now. These are the thoughts and emotions that are arising in my conscious awareness in the present moment. A simple statement of fact with no blame attached. We don't need to lambast ourselves for thinking those nasty thoughts or feeling those destructive emotions. We can simply let them go. As long as we don't get lost in a storyline that justifies and reinforces them, they will tend to dissipate on their own. A weed that is not given water will eventually wither and fade away. At the same time, when a wholesome thought or feeling arises, we can hold it in loving awareness and allow it to fully blossom. Okay, there is another paragraph related to it, and I want to read that as well before we move on to the next, page number. And hello, Ariana. I'm so happy to see you here. Welcome. So we are doing the first reading right now of this live. Okay, continuing on the reading. A Native American wisdom, a Native American wisdom story tells of an old Cherokee who is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, he said to the boy. It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is angry, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. So, this is the first wolf. The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. Hmm. I know some of you might be familiar with that story because that is a very popular one, that we have these both sides within us, the evil one or the good one, and the one that is going to win, the wolf that is going to win, is the one that we feed. And it is such a nice reminder to have, especially in terms of, focusing on that evil wolf being the one that has, that represents self judgment. Because when we have a thought or when we have a feeling and we start judging ourselves for that, not only, judging, we are in a habit of judging all of these different things, the way we behave, the way we think, the things that we are feeling, and that judgment. We think that judgment serves a purpose, that's why we have it. We think that it would help us not to do that, not to behave in that manner, not to, continue thinking in that manner, or not, it would help us to stop feeling that way. But judgment never helps. It is always love that is going to help. The first step being aware of it, which will in itself, help you detach from that judgment. So when we are having that judgment, that is such an awful thought to have, right? So when we have a thought, that is not so noble, and we see ourselves having that thought, and a part of us goes like, that is such an awful thought to have. How could you think this way? How could you think in this manner? Or you are so selfish to think in this manner. So now we are attaching a judgment to it. And we are now getting lost in this storyline that we are creating, the judgment about it, the story that how selfish we are. And we are getting lost in this thing now, in this judgment. And the more we feed this, the more we goes with the story. So by feeding the feeding that is mentioned in the parable, it means by going in the with the story, by getting hooked by it and continuing that story, we are strengthening that particular neural circuit in our brain, you know. So it's okay. Now it's getting a little. Okay, I'm going to just follow my thought through. By the way, Matt says that I like that parable. Thank you. Thank you so much, Matt, for sharing that. I love that, the parable resonated with you. Because yeah, I love expressing these thoughts with metaphors, with stories, these important pieces of information, and they become like kind of unforgettable in that way because we all humans love stories, right? So let's use a metaphor for that. The thing that I was mentioning, that how it will, strengthen that neural circuit. So what happens is that imagine your brain as like a grass field, and so there are some already laid out path on that grass field. You can walk through them. You usually walk through them. Those are old patterns. So one of those old patterns being self-judgment. So when you have a thought and you directly, just that judgment just comes like a, snap. It just happens to you. So uh, and that happens because that pathway is pretty clear. You have walked on that pathway very frequently. That pathway is well laid out for you, and around it there might be grass, but that pathway is clear, so you can just walk through that, run through that and everything, and you're familiar with that pathway. So that what happens whenever something happens to trigger that judgment within you, you go to that old pathway and it is laid out for you, so you walk through that, right? But what happens is when we try to do something new, when we try to adopt a new way of being, adopt a new way of reacting or responding, for example, instead of self judgment, you are going to go with objective awareness or self compassion, supposedly. Okay, so if that is the new thing that you're practicing, then what happens is initially it is going to be difficult because there's grass all over around and you have to create a new pathway, right? So it is going to be a difficult task. You would not want to go through that and instead just choose the old pathway and just run through that pathway, which is all well laid out for you. But once you go through that initial difficulty, and you start walking on that grass land, again this one time, and then again something happened and you chose compassion over judgment, then this pathway, the grass there is getting, flat, and a path is getting created. Each time you respond in this new manner, a path is getting created in that. And now, once you have practiced it a lot, once you have practiced this new way of being a quite a number of times, then you know this pathway would become a well laid out pathway, a clear pathway, flat pathway where there is no grass because you have walked on it again and again and again. And that is what I mean by, the neural pathway getting stronger. So it is getting more easy to adopt that and not go with the old pathway. And what happens with the old pathway? So once you stop walking on it, there is no one to suppress the grass or anything. So the grass around it would start covering that pathway, and that pathway is going to slowly and slowly fade away. And this new pathway is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So that is what happens. So I'm trying to recall when I started with this pathway thing. Yeah, so the thing being that if so when the author says, okay, let me quote the lines, that, if we don't get lost in that story, if we don't get consumed by that judgment, the self judgment or that particular pattern of ours of judging ourselves, if we don't get consumed by it in that moment, which mindfulness helps with. So, if we are able to cultivate that, if we are able to do that in that moment by not getting hooked by the story that our mind is telling us, by not getting into that judgment story, then what will happen is that that pathway I talked about, the earlier one, the old one, is going to dissipate on its own, it's going to fade away. And in that moment, we can always choose, we have to react or respond in some manner to that situation, of course. So we can choose an alternate way of being. We can choose how we want to be. We can choose how we want to respond in this situation and create this new pathway. And it is going to get easier because that is how our brain is wired. Initially, it might be difficult, but it is going to be easier, and the previous one is going to fade away because so the example that the author used was that a weed that is not watered will eventually fade away. And if there's something, a wholesome thought or something that you want to cultivate, then you have to water it, so you have to put in the efforts to build this new pathway. And you don't need to follow that old pathway, and it is going to fade away. So yeah, I've used the word pathway a lot of times. So before we move on to the next segment, yeah, this is something that came up for me. Did you guys resonated with, the lines or what I was saying? You can press the hearts to let me know because I have been like blabbering in the last few minutes. So thank you for listening to me patiently all this while. Yeah, but I like to complete my thought because it is just coming in a flow. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, now I feel a little better. That, yeah, it was useful. Okay, thank you. By the way, there are 88 meditators here. What a nice way to move on to the next page number. We are done with 88 for now. Amazing, amazing. Okay, let me see. What does, what is the meaning of this angel number? Because yeah, today there were like a lot of 88s. Hmm. I'm going to see that. And now I'm curious before we move on, and I'm going to tell you also. Hmm. Oh wow. Okay, so 888, seeing repeatedly eights means, to celebrate. The meaning is to celebrate. And it means that your spirit guides are celebrating abundance, financial well-being, prosperity, and milestones, no matter how small they might be. By doing so, you would be activating the law of attraction. Pretty hopeful, guys. Okay, I'm happy to hear that financial abundance is coming all of our ways. That is a nice. Leslie says 88 piano keys. Oh, there are 88 piano keys in the piano. Oh, I didn't know that. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Leslie. Hmm. I've never seen a piano in my real life. I have no idea. I've seen it in movies and stuff, but yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next page number now. It is 37. Hmm. Artem says, wow, Leslie, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what is on page number 37. 37, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure out that whether it is linked to a previous paragraph or it stands on its own. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. The answer is something to look forward to. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the author says on page number 37, hmm, who Who wants to be stuck in a box labeled good anyway? So, who wants to be stuck in a box labeled good? Isn't it more interesting to revel in the full range of human experience instead of trying to control ourselves and our lives to obtain a perfectionistic ideal? Why not embrace life as it is, both the light and the shadow? What adventures might follow if we free ourselves in this way? Happiness is found when we go with the flow of life, not when we rail against it. And self compassion can help us navigate these turbulent rapids with a wise, accepting heart. Hmm, interesting. I want to ask you, does anything came up for you, as you heard those lines? Does did spoke to you? Did they give you that maybe reassurance that you needed, or a different way of seeing things, a different perspective in your situation? Because we always kind of, I think, want the best, want the perfect, be a good person. Um, yeah, and being a good child is always a compliment as we are growing up. So we want to fit into that category of good and want everything to go smoothly in our lives and everything good to happen to us and just always have the light and avoid the darkness. But it feels like the image that is coming in my mind is like, a black and white TV, just one thing happening in our life being colored in just one kind of experience, and forgetting about all the colorful and vibrant experience that is out there. And yeah, I get it. We don't want the bad. And it is too painful and it is hurtful, and but it is also very surprising that recently I have had conversation with, few of my clients, and I was in awe of how they were describing the difficulties that they have faced, and it was not like a simple difficulty. It was a pretty huge thing that happened to them, and they were like, I'm glad that happened. Like, not glad, but yeah, I'm grateful that that happened to me, and now I'm able to help other people, much younger than me that are going through that, or I see that as a blessing. So it just amazes me. And when I look at back at my life, and when I look at back at those moments when I was at my lowest, I feel like, yeah, that kind of changed my life in a way, that just veered my life in a direction that I might have never went, and I'm grateful for that. I'm really, really grateful for that low period of my life. And it sounds like crazy, but yeah, I am. It just it just changed my life in a way. It just changed the direction of my life in a way. And I'm happy with the direction it took. Of course, I have difficulties right now, but Yeah, no one is fully happy with their current circumstances they are in. We can always find things to complain. But when I look at it overall, I'm happy that it turns out that way. And by seeing the hearts, as I was expressing that, I can see that there are people who have that similar experience, that those bad experiences are not just pure bad. They are not pure bad. Something, a light came through that darkness, you know, um, and maybe impacted them in a way that now they are spreading that light, now that they are holding that light for someone else. So, yeah, they, so yeah, now I can digest the fact whatever was mentioned here, that why just put fit into that good category, why not accept, if not embrace, at least accept both aspects of our life, the good and the bad, and all the in between, the vibrancy. Lynn says, sorry, missed it. What book are you reading from? Hello, welcome, Lynn. I am happy that you joined in. So the book that we are reading from is Self-Compassion by Kristin Neff. Okay. And by the way, guys, so I also like post the name of the book and the paragraphs that we are reading in my group on Insight Timer. So I have a little community on Insight Timer. The name of that community is Wonderful Beings, because you are full of wonder. So yeah, so if you would like to gain that access immediately after this live, because even though this is getting recorded, takes 1 hour to get uploaded on the channel, because it is long recording. So if you would like immediate access to the paragraphs that I've read, then you can do so by joining that group, Wonderful Beings. You can search for it on Insight Timer, or you can, go to my profile and scroll down. You will see Wonderful Beings there. Um, yeah. So, and as I was talking about my clients, I also want to share something with you all, especially all the women present here. So Okay, so I'm offering a gift to all the women who are present here. Or maybe if you're not a woman, but you have a woman in your life and you think that they would love to experience a powerful conversation with me. They would love to have a free 1 hour coaching session with me and they would benefit from that, then you can send them my way. And if you are that woman, if you are interested in that offering, and if you would like to have that, powerful conversation with me, then the way to access that gift is to message me on Insight Timer that Anisha, I am interested in this. I would love to have a conversation with you, and we can schedule a date and, book that session with you. And one thing that I can promise is that from that 1 hour conversation, you are definitely going to leave with at least one powerful insight. Because no women that I've worked with has gone through that session without getting something powerful out of it. So yeah, that is my promise to that, promise to you all. So Ariana says, thank you, Anisha. Thank you for that appreciation. And all the hearts, all the beautiful hearts. So yeah, if you are if you are interested in that, you can message me on Insight Timer. The way to message me is, let me show you before we move on to the next reading. Um, yeah, so you can go to my profile, and if you're not following me, you have to follow me actually to message me. So once you follow me, the follow button becomes a donate button. Above it, three dots appear, which were not there before. So once you click on those dots, you will see message teacher option here. So you can, message me that Anisha, I'm interested and I would love to, schedule something with you and give you a powerful experience, really. Okay, so let's move on to the next page number. Today my hairs are irritating me very much, so that the climate has changed a lot here, and yeah, I just started my fan today in this room, and yeah, my hairs are growing like crazy here and there. Yeah. Okay, so Leslie has chosen page number 108. So let's go with page number 108. So we have two left. And yeah, our time is also about up. So let's see what. Oh my God, I just noticed we also have 108 meditators here. What a wonderful coincidence. Okay, so 108, an auspicious number, an amazing number in many of the philosophies and traditions. And yeah, ah, we are just getting so many powerful signs today. And this is something, yeah, read that, it's just building my excitement. Okay, so 108, let's see. Hmm, hmm. Okay, so let's read that. So the subheading of it, Leslie says karma. Siobhan has mentioned all the stars here aligning, the stars aligning, wonderful. Okay, so the author says self compassion is a powerful form of emotional intelligence. As defined in Daniel Goleman's influential book of the same name, Emotional Intelligence. So, emotional intelligence involves the ability to monitor your own emotions and to skillfully use this information to guide your thinking and actions. So, again, remember I used the word monitor and the definition used the word monitor. So, basically, monitoring your emotions, not trying to control them. And then, using that knowledge of that emotion to guide how now I want to continue thinking or how now I want to behave in the situation. Okay, continuing. So, in other words, being aware of your feelings without being hijacked by them so that you can make wiser choices. So, we usually think that we need to control our emotions in some manner, but all we need is, just the awareness of them can bring such a huge relief also and a distance between you and emotions that now you can see things clearly and those emotions are no longer clouding your view like if you're wearing a shade if you're wearing shades. So like darker emotions making everything seem dark and gloomy, so it's just my, when you have mindfulness, n- you just become aware that I am wearing those specs and I can remove that. I have a choice now whether I want to continue seeing things that way or whether I don't want to see that things that way. I can remove that. So continuing on the reading, um, if you realize that you are mad at someone who made an insensitive comment, for instance, you might take a walk around the block to cool down before discussing it, rather than spouting the first disparaging remark that springs to mind. Perhaps better not to say, calling you an idiot would be an insult to all stupid people. Satisfying though it may be at the time. So, yeah, not saying statements like this. Research shows that people who are more self compassionate have more emotional intelligence, meaning they are better able to maintain emotional balance when flustered. So, so now that I remember, I use the term mindfulness, and you might be confused. So, mindfulness is actually an important component of self compassion. So, self compassion basically have three components. The first one is mindfulness, because you need to be aware of what is happening, and that awareness is without judgment, without attaching anything to the facts. So, just being aware of the facts itself. Um, then the second element is common humanity. So knowing that, this is a part of being human. Feeling angry also is a part of being human, and other people also feel this way, or someone else who might have been in your situation might have felt a similar emotion. So recognizing that, and knowing that you are not alone in this, whatever is happening, you are not alone in that. That just means you are being human. So, yeah, so just taking away that judgment and that loneliness from that. And then moving on to the third element, which is kindness. So, showing yourself some kindness in that moment, saying some kind words to yourself because just because you are suffering, you don't need to do something to deserve kindness. Just the mere fact that you are suffering in this moment makes you deserving of kindness, make you deserving of your own self-compassion. So yeah, those are the three very important components of self-compassion. And yeah, and that's why I mentioned mindfulness, because you need to force distance yourself and see the reality as it is. Take off those shades and see that this is the reality. And choosing whether do I want to continue seeing the way that I'm seeing the situation in the old manner, or do I want to change it? Do I want to just let that go? It is now your choice, and you are not acting out of your old pattern or in automatic mode. And that's how self-compassion leads that emotional intelligence. How that is why they are linked, because emotional intelligence, to repeat again, is just knowing what you're feeling, recognizing that emotion, because many people don't do that. They just feel a little bit off, and then they try to suppress it. That is our natural reaction. But emotional intelligence is to monitor that, to know that you're feeling a particular way, a certain way, and then choosing is an important word. So yeah, so now that you know that you are feeling that emotion, do you want to continue the way you were reacting, or do you want to take a wise action, or do you want to take a newer perspective, based on that? So that is what emotional intelligence is. Ah, so okay, there are now studies in this. So I think, yeah, let's wrap this page with this. Hmm. Okay, we have now one more, I think, left to read. I would not say anything more because, yeah, this time when I was reading this, I just felt like sharing my own inputs in that as I was reading it. I hope that, that was fine with you guys. And if you want to know the pure version, you can always, check out the exact paragraph that I post in the Wonderful Beings group of mine on Insight Timer. Okay, so the last page number was of Zarina. And thank you for the hearts. Especially while I'm speaking, that lets me know that, yeah, I am not just blabbering, and you guys are, resonating with it, and you would like to for me to continue speaking. So yeah, that helps really. Okay, let's see what is on page number 23. Mm. A big one. Okay, let me drink some water before it. Mm. And guys, if you are enjoying this live, if you're getting something out of it, and if you would like to give back, if you would like to support me to keep these lives going and, help me come back day after day and do these lives, offer this space, then you can support me by pressing, you might see a donation button here. So yeah, you can make any donation that you can. And yeah, support me in my work, support my journey. If you would like to do that, I would be really grateful for it. Okay, let's see what is on this page. Okay, page number 23. So the title on this page is a big one. So the subtitle says, The Need to Feel Better Than Others. Hmm. Okay. So the author says, Garrison Kyler famously describes the fictional town of Lake Wobegon as a place where all the women are strong, all the men are good looking, and all the children are above average. For this reason, psychologists sometimes uses the phrase Lake Wobegon effect to describe the common tendency to think of oneself as superior to others on a long list of desirable personality traits. So, the thing is that we all want to feel that we are special, we are above average, and that's what we base our self esteem on. That very definition of self esteem is like a positive judgment of ourselves, and feeling that we are above average. And that's a very common pitfall of having a high self esteem, because it is like associated with that, narcissism and having like a very selfish, a selfishness or just a very high view of ourselves, even if it is unrealistic or something like that. But yeah, it has that pitfall of that when we comes to self-esteem. And that's how, Christine Neff, the author of this book, represents self-compassion as that instead of trying to boost our self-esteem, because self-esteem is often based on things that are not in our control, achieving that outcome, or being above average, which by definition, like, we cannot all be above average, otherwise they would be like the average would of course like rise above, so we cannot all be above average. So by definition, like that, we all cannot have that, positive self-esteem, a higher self-esteem. But a very good alternative to that is focusing on self-compassion, because it can never have that pitfall. Because as I mentioned, the very element in self-compassion is common humanity. So now we don't need to feel superior to others or better than others. We can feel like we are a human like others and they are a human like us, and they all have strengths like us and they all have weaknesses like us, or I have strengths like others and I have weaknesses like others. So, having a very balanced view of ourselves, knowing the facts, with mindfulness, just focusing on the facts. And if there is a, emotion that comes up, maybe of shame or maybe of, some other sort, then we can have that kindness for ourselves to have experience, to experience that hurtful emotion, to experience that pain within us, to experience that unpleasantness or that emotion within our body. So, it has been presented, self-compassion has been presented is as a alternative to focus on that. And it doesn't mean that, um we are not going to have standards, we are not going to have high standards, or we are not going to aim for big things or become a better person. But it means that if you fall, if you fail, if you reach a setback, then self-compassion is going to be there as your reliable friend, holding your hand and guiding you through that difficult time, rather than relying on your self-esteem, which goes away at the very point that you fail, you know so it is not a very good friend. Self-esteem is not a very good friend. It is there when you are, when everything is going fine and you are achieving goals and you are just winning, winning, winning. It is there with you. It is just, yeah, it is there with you and just celebrating that with you. But the moment you face a failure, it just goes away through the back door. It's like, no, I'm no longer here. That self-esteem just decreases suddenly. So, yeah, so self-compassion can be a very good alternative focus, and it doesn't, and there are all these myths associated with self-compassion that it would hamper our motivation, or it would, um, we would do bad things because we can just forgive ourselves, we can just be compassionate and forgive that, but it doesn't mean that, and these are all these myths, that are associated with it, which stops us from cultivating this beautiful, wonderful thing that is positively associated with, emotional intelligence. So yeah, I guess that's a wrap for today. We can summarize our session. We can wrap the session here. I have a comment here. AJ asks how to engage with others lost in separation from a place of oneness. Mhm. Firstly, what is coming into my mind, AJ, is since we discussed self compassion, right now, and that is often the first step, firstly, giving ourselves compassion for the pain that you experienced during the separation, because there might have been some difficult, there might have been some unpleasant emotion. I don't know the specifics, but there might have been some emotion within you at that moment, the pain. So giving yourself some compassion, allowing yourself to process all of it. So once you process all of that, then you can come from a place of feeling fulfilled, that you don't need anything else from other person in that moment, and now you're ready to give, you're ready to be there for the other person. And in that, in recognizing your own pain, you can see, you can feel that the other person was also a human being who might have felt some or other form of pain in that situation. So that compassion naturally emerges when we understand our own suffering. We are able to be more open to the suffering of the person. So that compassion naturally emerges, and that is our very nature, compassion and love. So yeah, so we naturally feel that oneness in the humanity of it all, in the common humanness of it all. So yeah, I cannot give you the very specifics of this, like how to exactly interact or engage with that other person, but that can be a good starting place. Okay, I hope that that touched upon your question. Okay. So guys, yeah, the time for this session is kind of up, and I am so grateful for anyone who tuned in, for every single one of you who I see floating around here in the bottom, who interacted with me today, who pressed the hearts to encourage me, to keep me going. So thank you so very much. I want to repeat a few things. So this is getting recorded. If you would like to get to the access of this particular lives replay and all the previous, 35 lives of this Wheel of Wisdom series, you're welcome to do so. By going to my profile in the About section, you will see a link tree there. So you will see Wheel of Wisdom replay, and you can access all the replays there. Um, Allison says, I came in mid session. What is the text, please? Okay. Welcome, Allison. Welcome. And yeah, we are just about to end the live, but what I'm going to do is that after this live, like within 5 minutes or so, I'm going to post the name of the books. We read just one book today, but yeah, I am going to post the name of the book as well as the paragraphs that I read, like within 5 or 10 minutes after this live end, in my group Wonderful Beings. Let me like type it here in case yeah, so you can search for it on Insight Timer, or you can go to my profile and you will see my little community Wonderful Beings there in my profile down somewhere. And yeah, you can join that. I will post the kind of the summary, and I do that after each live. I post the readings from that live in that group. So in case anyone missed or joined late. And another thing is that if you are a woman, and if you would be interested in my gift, that is a free 1 hour coaching session with me. So if you would like to experience coaching with me and leave the session with some powerful insights, then you're welcome to message me on Insight Timer, and I would love to schedule a session with you and give you my all that I can and support you in the best manner that I can. So yeah, you can grab onto that gift by messaging me on Insight Timer. When you go to my profile, and if you're already following me, you would see 3 dots above the donate button. Click on the dots, go to message teacher, and that's how you message me. Um, yeah, so that's it for this live. If you find this live helpful, if you would like to give back, if you would like to share the energy of abundance with me and support me, then you can do so by clicking on the donate button here. You can make any donation that you can. Yeah, because inside timer don't pay teachers yet, to do these lives. So yeah, your donations really support me and keep these lives going. So thank you. And if you can't, then you can always like follow me and listen to my content to support me. That's another way. And thank you for all these lovely hearts flowing in. I'm so grateful for it. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Bye bye. Namaste. Okay, Leslie says thank you, Anisha. Thank you, Leslie, for joining in. I am so happy to see you here. Bye bye. Oh, Siobhan donated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Siobhan. I am really grateful. I appreciate it. And I'm wishing that this abundance, this energy of abundance flows to you in multifolds, and it just brings you everything that you need in this moment. The peace, the love, the healing, the light, everything that you need. Thank you. Siobhan says thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, okay. Shuvan. Okay, Shuvan. Thank you so much for correcting me. Yeah, and helping me out with your name. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, I will remember it for later, Shuvan. And by the way, guys, I have another live. I think in a few days from now. Mm, on 4th of April, I have a live. It would be on my profile soon. So yeah, I used to do this all on alternate days, but yeah, I'm just taking a little bit break here. So yeah, I will see you all soon. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you. Siobhan says you are a soul. Welcome. Oh, sorry. Shuvan. Sorry. Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you.